Welcome to the It's All Fine and Danjee podcast, where hosts Dan and Angie talk with creatives, small business owners, charities, and all kinds of interesting people. It's all real talk. It's all fine and Danjee.
Well, hello and welcome back to the It's All Fine and Danjee podcast. As always, we want to thank you for joining us this week. We are Angie and I are meeting together this week to kind of talk about some things that we've been up to and some upcoming things and some small businesses and all that jazz.
All that jazz.
That's got to be in a loop and to be played at the end. So for sure.
For your listening enjoyment, I always got a little song or a little jingle to sing.
You do. I love it. And I'm waiting for the word of the day from you.
Which I don't know what that is going to be yet, but we'll see.
We'll see. So last time we spoke to you guys without a guest, we were at the Hard Rock Hotel in Tampa, Florida for a little staycation. It was really, really cool of our friend Angie to hook us up with some tickets. Having said all that,
Yeah.
boy, did we learn a lesson there. So no detriment to Hard Rock Tampa, because if you like to gamble and you're a casino person, I'm sure it's a great experience. But we normally go to the one here.
Yeah, we are not gamblers.
Yeah, we're not gambling. Thank you for letting me finish that. Yeah, because I was going to bail on that thought. Sorry, I have a tendency to do that. I notice when I listen back to the podcast sometimes, like, you never finished that, dude. But we stayed for 2 nights on the house. It was really nice, but we spent an absolute fortune just staying there and having some drinks and eating by the pool and going to the restaurant. I was like, wow. So that's a baller place for sure. Like,
yeah, it definitely is. We're not ballers.
No.
We were that weekend, though.
We were that weekend, but I was like, wow, free nights for sure. But for the cost, we could have literally paid for 2 nights somewhere at the beach and done all that stuff too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Lesson learned there for us.
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely was. So we've been doing some decorating for Christmas.
Yes.
Trying to get in the Christmas spirit. This year, December's kind of a weird month for us this year.
It really is.
Because our focus is elsewhere. So that's what we were going to kind of chat about on the episode as well, is kind of what we're up to full steam ahead.
Yeah, and it's weird when you're like, this is like the first time, for those of you that know me or have been listening for a while, I love Christmas. I love it. And my favorite thing about it is giving other people gifts. And as much as that sounds so cliche, it really is. Like, I'm at that age where I probably bought what I want already. So it's more.
I can testify that the thing you are always most excited for is people opening their presents.
Yes, for sure.
And when you go to get one, you're like, okay, do I have to open it?
Yeah, because I'm okay with just not getting any present, but that's my favorite thing. And of course, the movies and the decorations, and let's be honest, the
Spiked
adult,
egg dog?
I was going to say the adult drinks that come this time of year, just all of it. The whole vibe, but it's changed over the years, as it does for all of us. And I think when your kids have grown up and, and moved out, or if there's conflict in your family, which some of got a little bit of that going on, which I hate, but my kids and I aren't really speaking so well right now, really at all right now, which I hate, but maybe one day, who knows? It's very difficult for that, but it affects Christmas for me, because I'm like, and Angie, same for you, right? You're having the same kind of vibe, it's like.
I am. Maybe my younger son are great. He's, always, a pleasant kid.
Yep.
He stresses me out sometimes, but hey, what kids don't?
I was waiting for that dramatic pause.
But I've been, I've had some issues with my other son. So,
yeah.
And it's been like, kind of like a rough couple years for us when it comes to relationships and stuff like that with our kids. But you know what? I'm sure it's a little speed bump in life, and it'll pass one day.
You have to assume that, and if it's not, you just have to know you're doing the best you can, and you did the best you can, and life goes on.
And move on with life.
You can't fall apart. Right. But having said all that, so it's been a little hard for me to get into the normal Christmas spirit, and then combined with what Angie's going to lead into with Airbnb and all the stuff we're specifically focusing on December, as we said in a couple of episodes ago, it just didn't quite feel like Christmas. But I will say, going to get the Christmas tree, we said, "Oh, let's do a tree on the wall, like one of those you make out of the."
Which my sister did, and it looks really cute.
Oh, I gotta
by the
see
way.
it. I gotta. See. What is the stuff called that you make that out of?
Garland.
Yeah, so
you can
garland.
do real or fake garland.
Yeah, so we were gonna do that, and then we were gonna get a little tiny tree, the kind you just sort of open like an umbrella, and then this led to us going online and everywhere, taking the dog all around, and we ended up going to get a real Christmas tree. Now we donated our 2 artificial trees this year to Make-A-Wish Foundation, right?
Give Kids the World.
Oops, yep,
so,
wrong charity. Sorry, Give Kids the World.
Kelly Sharkey had posted about that they were in need of certain things for this.
Yes,
and I'm like, oh, I think we have a tree we can definitely donate. And then I was like, hey, we have 2 trees.
We're moving, so
our old neighbor before he moved out gave us this beautiful, like 6 foot tall, beautiful tree. I mean, it's probably about a $500 tree.
Yeah, it's got to be a $500 fake tree. It looks
got the
real.
Lights on it. Yeah. It looks real. But we're never gonna. I don't think we're ever gonna use it.
I don't either.
So, or at least not in the next
few years.
Few years. So
hauling
I said,
it around and
let's donate that because they'll use that year after year down at Give Kids the World. So and then. The Sharkey family went down and they decorated it for the families, and so it was nice to see that it got repurposed in a good way.
And props to the Sharkeys for doing that. Some family friends and work friends we've had for a long time. They do a lot of charitable work like that. I know their son has done a lot of stuff like that too. But that got me more into the Christmas spirit. We went and bought a real tree again, which we haven't done.
A little tiny one, guys. Like it's the topper. It's like the top of a tree that they
really
cut
is.
off.
It's put it this way. It's so little. We have it like sitting on an end table by the couch. And it's still, there's probably 4 feet between the top of it and the roof.
Yeah.
But it's cool. We got a few little lights. It's very sparsely decorated.
We got like our sentimental ornaments on it. And, a few little lights, a little tree topper. And we took Mackenzie to help pick a tree up.
Yeah, it was great. So she
fun.
walked around in the tent and sniffed around at everything or whatever. And of course, she was interested in the tree when we got it home. But in typical Mackenzie Fox fashion, she is not trying to get to it or eat it, she's just like totally like, okay, cool. And it's
a tree.
But that part's been nice. I had some spiked eggnog the evening that we started decorating, and it was just, I don't know, that kind of put me back in the spirit. We started watching some Christmas movies, and so it's kind of rolling now. As soon as
you wrap those presents today and put them under there, you'll be even more excited. As soon as you start putting the presents under the tree, you get very excited.
For other people, I really do. And so I've got some presents together here. But, I want to mention this. I don't want to make this episode a downer, but I do want to mention this because I know that, I don't know what depression is like. I have always been one of these people that has been I'm always just excited to see what the day brings. Even in my darkest moments, I've never felt depressed or suicidal or anything. So it makes me, I guess, maybe try to be more empathetic sometimes to those of you who do, because I can only imagine it's horrible. Some of us just have like an excitement for life, even when you're like, really? Your life right now you're excited about? But
yeah, I've been depressed, but it was like postpartum depression. Yeah, so I couldn't imagine feeling like that every day.
Yeah, I can't, I don't know what it feels like, but I've heard about it. I've you and I've talked about the postpartum thing, and I've had friends, family, and stuff that have had that kind of thing too. But I wanted to mention it now because there is a national hotline now. It's 988 instead of 911. And it's a number that you can call or text, and it will connect you with like trained counselors that will listen and talk to you and, do their best to kind of make you feel better, and also connect you to resources that you may need to, help you progress in trying to get past it or deal with it or manage it. I don't know how all of that works exactly, but I just thought good time to mention that because I know for some reason, maybe it's because of lost relationships or family or something, but the holidays do something to some people that's not a good thing. Whereas, we get all excited, but sometimes people start thinking about things that make them sad or depressed or upset, or it gets worse.
Well, yeah, because usually like the holidays is a time for people to gather with families and friends. And if they have strife or don't have any family, that can weigh heavy on people.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine if you're just alone for the holidays, it's there's 2 ways, I guess, to deal with it. Either it's going to be really sad for you. You have to just stay busy somehow. I don't know. I don't have any real advice for that because I don't know how it works, and I don't want to pretend I do it. I don't want to minimize it. But that 988 number, I think, is a great thing because you don't have to remember some website. You don't have to remember some service. Just 988 is the number. and it's 24/7 and it's available for people
that's quite amazing that they have that. And I would also say, with social media nowadays, there's so many Facebook groups that I'm sure there's Facebook groups for people that may be alone during the holidays to gather together and maybe just strangers getting together or even getting together in person and sharing holidays together. So because there is a group for everything, I guarantee there is that type of resource that people could find too if you're not depressed, but you just want to spend time
with someone
else, you know?
I don't know. I would imagine there is too, but anyway, So just wanted to mention that, it's that 988 number. So
where'd you hear about that from? Was it just
I think I saw it on social media actually, and then in some of the news I was reading, but I think it's a relatively new thing, but it's available.
Easy to remember too. So that number was 988. So
that's it.
Easy breezy to remember.
Anybody know the number for 911?
What movie is that from?
I don't know. It was great though.
So let's switch back to like our December focus. Obviously still our focus for the podcast is always on small business. We're recording on a Sunday. We actually have somebody coming in today.
To do another recording.
Yeah. And we're lining up our 2023 calendar, which is going to look a little different just because of the transitions we're kind of going through. But we are starting another small business as well. And that is, guys, you've heard it. We keep talking about it. It's really happening. We are, going to make the move to North Carolina. Our goal is by end of 2023. Once again, we said that's our goal. Sometimes little speed bumps happen, but that is our goal. Is the end of 2023. We're going to be in North Carolina, enjoying the cooler weather and the mountain air. But we will be starting the small business of owning our own little short-term rental.
Yes.
So our own little Airbnb. I'm trying to come up with a cutesy little name for it right now. I think The Hub, but Dan is, with his marketing and everything, he is like, the name has to match around all the platforms and website, whatever.
I've said it before. That's a pro tip to me for you're starting a business. Make sure your website, that's the www.whatever, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, make sure they're all the same. Don't do Florida Hub and then the Hub and then the Florida Hub Orlando, because people can't find you. And when other businesses are trying to tag you, if I know the name of your business is The Hub and I go at The Hub and it's somewhere else, it's somebody else. It
tags somebody else, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really a messy way to market, is to have all your stuff mixed up. And here's my advice. If you're starting a new business, check all that first. If you find, oh, great, I can get the www, but I can't get the Facebook, don't do it. Change your name.
Yeah, because that's what I was doing this morning. I was trying to get all that social media set up, and finding a name has been hard, has been challenging. So, I was thinking with the name Fox in it or something, but there's so many people that use that. So keep tuned in.
That's okay. When I was doing a sound check because we have some new equipment I mentioned, and I think I'm still trying to get it just right. But when I was in here doing it, I was teasing you about last time, as I go, at the end of the day, it's all, it's fine, and it's all, and I was getting it all mixed up. It's like I couldn't say it. So anyway, back to what you're trying to say.
So stay tuned. Yes. Obviously, we will announce that on the podcast as well as our social media. And hopefully you guys can, head over to it when we get it set up and give it a like, give it a share. You may have family out of town coming in, that might want to stay at our cute and cozy little house.
And it's a very centrally located place. I just drove
The reason why I wanted to call it the Hub, because it's central to everything in Florida.
It really is. And, you try to guess and you draw it up on maps, but I just drove yesterday to
Kissimmee.
Well, I didn't end up going to Kissimmee. I went right to the entrance of Disney World, the back entrance. And I don't know if that's considered Kissimmee. It said like Winter Garden on the map.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
But if you leave our house and you go down the interstates and you go down to 429, you could be on Disney World property in 30 minutes. So that's really close. So you could kind of come down, go on vacation, go to those spots, go kayaking and stuff within 10 minutes of our house. But it's all away from the super touristy stuff. So you still get a break. It's a quiet neighborhood. It's kind of nice. There's a lake over here and stuff.
And I think that's what a lot of obviously we're going to market to families that are coming down for vacation, but I think that will be the appeal. Not everybody wants to stay in the busyness. Like I know we don't when we go. We want to be out. We want to be close enough where we can get to things quickly, but kind of out of all that busyness.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that will be an appeal here. We have a nice yard for kids to run around in. We're thinking about putting a swing set in, like, just things like that to kind of, but getting back to that, that's what all of December has been. So our month of December has been, not that we have like major repairs to do, but it's silly little stuff. Yeah. It's, painting one weekend. Yeah. And we all know I'm not getting paint out until we're going to make sure 3 days of painting is happening, because I don't want to put all the crap up again.
I was listening to the last episode that you and I recorded at the Hard Rock, and you said like 2 or 3 times, you're like, we have all this stuff to do, like painting and getting the paint out and painting. You were dreading the painting. So
can you tell? Because that's what I'm focused on every time.
Oh, and I'm glad you mentioned something else, Angie. She said at the beginning, we really are going to move to North Carolina. We really are going to Airbnb. And I'll tell you, I think we're both.
I think because we've talked about it so much, people are like, are you really? Why are you still here?
Well,
these things take time.
You and I have some things in common and a lot of things that we don't have in common. And it makes for an interesting relationship, which you want an interesting relationship. You don't want to be married to your clone, but there are things we are exactly the same about. And that's one of them where, every time we go through the list and we do a couple more things and we add another thing, and it's like, this is going to take longer, but I keep like in my brain, I need to think of it like imminent, like within the next month or two, because that's the only way I'm going to get the shit done, honestly. Yeah. Otherwise I'm going to say, I got months to get that done,
Yep. So that's, just some of the things we have to tackle. I mean, the list is long that we have. And then I also have the task of decorating for it and making sure everything's cute and cozy and everything's here for guests when they get here. So I've been, having this huge list put together for that, and listening to podcasts about, the business behind it and the financial part, the legal part. There's so many different aspects to it besides just listing your house on Airbnb
and all the stuff you have to address. Yeah. And, I guess a good time to say this, this might be the last day that we record in this studio. I'll do a little time lapse of a teardown, but it's kind of sad to me. It's like we've had good times in here, and we've met a lot of great friends and local companies and stuff, and we're getting ready to tear it all down. Now we're still going to record at home. It'll just be, out at the dining room table or whatever.
Yeah, which I think will still be perfectly suitable for people.
I do too.
But also on top of getting the house ready for Airbnb, like we were just outside in the yard yesterday, because there's a lot of yard stuff to kind of do.
I wasn't out as long as you because I maybe stayed up too late at my company Christmas party.
Yeah, we did not get home till like 3:30 in the morning. And for people that go to bed at like 9 or 10 nowadays.
That's us. That's literally us, 9 or 10.
What? And then I had to get up because my niece stayed over to watch Mackenzie.
Yeah.
And I was up at 7:15 to drive her to work, 40 minutes away.
But it's your company Christmas party. You need to you stay and you socialize with everyone from work, especially in that I don't see them anymore because it's mostly remote work. So it was nice. It was fun to see everybody. I know designing a company Christmas party to appeal to everyone is very difficult. And I talked to Aaron, the guy's a good friend of mine, that he's planned it for years and years. Yeah. And, you can't make everybody happy all the time. And the band there was great. They're local, props to them. But for me,
that's right.
After eating and having a couple cocktails, I want to dance. And it was just kind of like background jazzy type music. So Angie and I were the only two that danced anyway. And the band thanked us for that. But it was not quite danceable music. No. So we ended up migrating.
Yeah, we did. We didn't get to dance, but...
No, but we migrated with, the company, so it was kind of cool. We just started going to some of the little shops downtown Winter Park, the wine bar and stuff.
Yeah, it was nice. And so, on top of doing all the Airbnb stuff on the weekends and still podcast stuff, I have kind of forced you...
Yeah, somebody has to
take time for yourself every single weekend, get up, go to a local coffee shop or something, and do some writing. And you have vacation, like 2 weeks of vacation coming up in December. And what will you be doing that whole time?
During that 2 weeks vacation, I will be writing. I literally have taken off the back half of December specifically to finish my third novel. Notice I didn't say try to.
Yeah.
Finish my third novel and relaunch my tech review YouTube channel. I was getting more traffic than I get on anything I was getting on that tech review channel before I kind of drifted away from it years ago, but I'd like to fire that back up.
And not just because you're getting traffic, but because you actually like doing it.
Well, the idea for me is if you get enough traffic to get enough sponsors to buy the tech to do the reviews, that'd be a fun little side hobby.
Somebody sending you some free tech, that'd be amazing.
And that'd be a fun little side hobby. I need a side hobby because I'm so bored all the time.
Yeah.
That's sarcasm. But as far as the writing, though, thank you to those of you that responded to my post out there about where to write, like local places, like local small businesses and places to go write. Because if you're a fellow writer, and I know that some of you listening are, some of us, it's kind of like when you need to do anything on your computer and you're at home and you feel like, well, there's chores to do around here, so I'm going to do that first. But if you can go somewhere else, like if I can go to a coffee shop or somewhere else, I will write like crazy because that's what I'm there for, and it's the only thing to do there. So thank you so much for the suggestions. Some really cool suggestions. Not all of them were for me, but I think some of them, really all of them, were really cool. Some very unique suggestions, like what about the zoo? If you find a spot outside of the zoo, and I'm writing on my iPad so I can go anywhere. What about Cannon Coffee Shop in town here, which I definitely want to go check that one out. I hear it's very, there's like little rooms and things you can go into that are kind of away from the people standing in line to get coffee.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned Katie's Landing, which is a place where you go kayaking. So really neat ideas.
When I used to do schoolwork and stuff, I would go to like Wakaiba Island during the week because it wasn't busy, and sit by the river
and work. Wow.
And write, write my papers or read or whatever it was,
awesome
because
idea.
There's something about being outside that is actually more motivating to me than sitting inside.
Oh, of course.
To me, it would be outside when it's cooler nowadays, of course.
Yeah, I love that. Especially if I'm writing scenes that are outdoors, that would help me a little bit too, to be outdoors.
And didn't I see that somebody shared like a link that tells you like the best coffee shops in Orlando area?
Sheila shared a coffee shop guide. So
that's cool.
I'll be using that during the break too, to kind of figure out where I want to go. Somebody mentioned Birchwood Coffee, and I really love Birchwood Coffee. First of all, their coffee's amazing. Their quiches are amazing. It's a local mom and pop restaurant right here in Apopka, or coffee shop, I should say. And I've gone there to write a few times too. It's a really good place. Propagate Social House, another great one. The funny thing about Propagate, though, is I guess it's in the name, Social House.
Social.
But, we know the owners and we know people that come in and out of there. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I love going there, and we probably frequent that coffee shop more than any other, to be transparent here. But I don't know if it's a place I want to go to write, because I'm gonna be like, hey, Jay, what's up? Hey, so-and-so. And I won't write. I'll be hanging out and talking to everybody. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I'll be finishing my novel this year.
But if it's cooler out and you sit out back, you could probably in that little, they have that little spot where they have when the musicians come and stuff, and it's set underneath the trees. It's
stage.
Kind of away from everybody.
Yeah,
so
I could wear camouflage and go sit over there.
You sure could, and you could just hide from everybody and be like, you could put a little sign up that says, "Writing, please do not disturb."
Writing, don't. I came out in public to not be disturbed. Jerk writer, hashtag.
Please don't disturb me. Please don't disturb me. But I wanted to, hey, listen, if anybody has a cool, catchy little name for our little centrally located Airbnb that's going to be here.
Yes.
Give us, shoot us an email.
Yeah,
contact at fineanddanjee.com, or on our social media, Fine and Danjee.
Or
and just
message us on Facebook, or tweet at us. We do the tweets.
I don't look at the tweets, so if you look at the tweets,
I look at the tweets. There's no tweets.
There's no tweets.
All we do is tweet the link to our YouTube channel.
Tweeting.
But you could tweet us there if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It sounds inappropriate.
There's all the ways.
Yes.
There's all the ways to get a hold of us, for sure.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, that'd be cool. Great. Any of you creative types out there, please give us some ideas, because we're starting to get kind of wacky with our naming.
Yeah, a little wackadoodle.
Yep.
I did want to mention also, since we love the Whimsy Market girls, they actually have their last Whimsy Market event. Start over.
And we're not editing, so that...
No editing. I'm starting over. They're having their last event for 2022 coming up December 18th, which is this upcoming Sunday from when you're listening to this. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Farron Park in Eustis, right there by the lake in downtown Eustis. So a bunch of vendors set up down there. You can go to their website, which is, link below if you are interested in becoming a vendor for the 2023 year.
Yeah, that's awesome. You better get on it now.
Yeah, I put the link that goes directly to the page where you could sign up for the individual events. You have to be approved. Definitely go, because they do fill up, and sometimes you're on a waiting list for if they have a cancellation for one of the events. So definitely check it out, guys. Help support their small business, because they are huge in helping to support yours.
Indeed. And I am going to do something I don't normally do here, because we are talking all about our small business, but I'm going to do a shameless plug for my novels. I write under my actual legal name, Daniel Fox. So if you're interested in adult fiction that's kind of a thriller, maybe a hint of supernatural, both of my novels have 100% positive reviews online, which I hope I can always say that. But you can go to danielfoxbooks.com to find out more, and that'll link you everywhere. You can order the paperbacks there. You can find out where you get the digital versions. You can order signed copies. And that's what I'm talking about when I say I'm working on my third novel, for those of you that may not have read it. And I really appreciate you guys, because when I do mention this on the show, I notice I get an uptick on views on my website. So thank you so much for that. And I have another side business that I started recently called Flying Fox Shots. That is a commercial drone business where I can do drone videography and photography for your event, if you're a realtor, if you need survey work done, whatever it is. You can go to www.flyingfoxshots.com. I recently did some work for the Whimsy Market ladies, and that footage, I think, turned out really good. They were very happy with it, and so was I. So if you're interested in drone business and you need some some videos or some photos of your business or your house that you have for sale or whatever, please reach out to me and give me a shout. You can also email me at danfox@flyingfoxshots.com.
That's a long email.
I know, it really is. Well,
but we'll have the link below, so you can find all that information.
No matter what you put in there, it's going to be long.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's
what are
true.
you going to do? Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for the show today, guys. And as always, we just appreciate each and every time that you guys listen to us. I mean, we've had such success here in Florida with our small businesses, and we're going to continue all through 2023 and until we move to North Carolina, and then we'll continue there as well.
And when we do move, we're going to be coming back a few times a year, at least a couple times a year, to touch up the house, check on things, and meet with some locals. So we'll continue doing our interviews here as well.
All right, guys, and that's a wrap. And remember, at the end of each and every day, it's all fine and dandy.
Angie's dancing this whole time.